Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's upload we are going to be going over the best season 5 controller settings. Having the right settings in Modern Warfare is one of the key aspects to becoming a very good player. If you don't have the right settings, you're kind of just setting yourself at a disadvantage, so make sure you stay tuned throughout this whole video so you don't miss any of the settings I'm going to go over. Oh, and just so you guys know, a lot of these settings are like built for me. Some of them might be different for you guys. I'll kind of explain like how to choose the right settings for you. So for the settings, I'm just going to be going over the ones that actually matter. A lot of them are just there and they don't really do too much in the game, so I'm not going to be covering those, just so I don't make the video too boring. So the first setting under the controller tab is your button layout preset. I play on default, and that's because I play claw. If you don't know what claw is, so I have my pointer finger that clicks on these buttons. Instead of having to move my thumb to click these buttons, all I have to do is use my pointer finger, which makes it so I can do like slide cancels and all those advanced movements very easily. So for someone that doesn't have a scuff or doesn't play claw, you want to switch your button layout preset from default to tactical, or you can do stick and move. So if you switch it to tactical, it makes it so you can drop shot very easily, because as you can see, it swaps your melee and your crouch button, making it so you can crouch with the right stick, so your thumb never has to leave the stick to go push the crouch button. All you have to do is click down on the stick. The next best one is stick and move. This one swaps your melee and your jump button, so instead of jumping with X or A, you'll actually be jumping with the right stick. This makes it so you can do bunny hops very easily. For the stick layout preset, I would just keep this on default. I don't think there's any stick layout preset that's going to give you like the advantage. For the dead zone, I have mine on 0.09. If you don't know what dead zone is, I did previously make a video about the dead zone, so if you want to check out that video, I'll have a link above me. I'm not going to go over it in this video because most people already know what the dead zone is. For my sensitivity, I have mine on 8.8. Some people say this is slow. For me, it's perfect, so pretty much just find the sensitivity that's best for you. I would think maybe if I was on like 9 or 10, it would be a little bit better because then I could turn on people a little bit faster, but 8.8 is doing just fine for me. For the ADS sensitivity, multiplayer low zoom and high zoom, I keep mine on just 1.0, just so all the sensitivities are the same and I don't have to get used to like an ADS sensitivity and then when I'm not ADS. For my aim response curve type, I have mine on dynamic, and that's because dynamic makes it so you can kind of flick onto people a little bit easier. So for example, if I have 3 people in front of me, I actually can like kind of lock onto each person a lot easier. Not like lock on, but like be able to switch between targets a lot easier. And I believe all the previous CODs had a dynamic curve response type. It just, you couldn't change it, but this was like the built-in response curve. And I'm not going to go over the other aim response curve types, but if you look up Exclusive Ace on YouTube, he will have a full video breaking down this topic. So for controller vibration, recently I did have mine on enabled about 2 months ago, but I switched it to disabled because it just makes sense that you'd be more accurate, because less things vibrating in your hand should make it so you're more accurate. So if I was you guys, I would train yourself to play on disabled. You will become a way better player. You'll just be able to hit more shots. So just try to train yourself on disabled. In the end, it'll be way better for you. For my aim assist, I do standard. I recommend for all of you guys to do standard. If you're very new to the game, I would do focusing just because it's like a stronger aim assist, which sounds better, but it's just better for new players. It's hard to explain. I know Exclusive Ace has a video breaking down this topic as well, so if you want an in-depth analysis of this, just make sure you look up his video. But so anyways, I play in standard. I recommend all you guys to play in standard too, unless you're very new to the game. For my use/reload behavior, I recommend for you guys to do contextual tap if you're playing Warzone, and that's because if you're playing Warzone, I believe it's square on PlayStation, but I know it's X on Xbox, but so you don't have to hold that button to pick up weapons, you just want to be able to tap it. If you can tap it, it makes the looting way faster. If you have to hold it, it makes your looting way slower. But the reason you want to tap to reload for multiplayer is because if you're trying to like throw a C4 and you blow it up in the air, you accidentally reload your gun, or you'll pick up a weapon off the ground, which makes it very annoying. Oh, and if you have contextual tap to reload your gun, you actually have to hold the reload button instead of just tapping it, but it just makes it so you can loot way faster, so in my opinion it's worth it. For your slide behavior, you want it on tap, and that's just so you can do a slide cancel way easier. If it's on hold, you're not really going to be able to do a slide cancel, so make sure it's on tap if you want good movement. For the automatic sprint, I have mine on automatic tactical sprint, and that's just so I can do a slide cancel way easier. This makes it so I don't have to constantly push down on my left stick to do a tactical sprint. All I have to do is move forward, make it so I don't have to wear down the stick as much. For the parachute auto deploy, I have mine on enabled. The reason I like enabled is because I can fly down until it pulls out the chute, and once my guy pulls out a chute, I'll just cut it, then I can free fall the rest of the way. For the general, for my brightness, I like to do 51. Again, all personal preference. I like to do 51 though. For the safe rate, I have mine as close to the center as I possibly can get, and that's just so I don't have to like look all the way to the right as much to be able to see my HUD. For the film grain, make sure yours is on 0 because you don't want that right image. That one on the right looks super ugly. Make sure it looks like the one on the left. For the weapon motion blur, same thing. You want the one on the left. Make sure these are disabled. If it's enabled, that's just weird. For the minimap shape, make sure it's on square because as you can see, if you have circle, it cuts the corners off. So if you have the square, you actually can see more of the map. So if there's a UAV up, you actually can see the corners rather than with the circle, you won't be able to see the corners. For the compass cardinal direction text, make sure yours is on the number. So if you want to call someone out, you can just say 270 without having to try to figure out what's between like 240 and 300. For the audio, you want to make sure yours is on boost high. Boost high will allow you to hear the most footsteps as possible, so just make sure it's on boost high. For my master volume, I have mine on 30, and that's just because the plane and Warzone, it's so fucking loud that it just blows my ears out. So I just have mine on 30 so the effects talks aren't too loud. For my music, I have mine on 0 just because I'm a tryhard and I like to only hear the things that matter in the game. For the dialogue volume, I have mine on 50 because sometimes your character will call out good things. For the effects volume, you want to make sure it's at 100 if you have a headset, and that's just so you can hear footsteps a lot easier. For the voice chat device, if you're playing on a TV, make sure it's on speakers. If you're playing on a headset, if you're playing with a headset, do the headset one. For the open mic recording threshold, this is how much volume it takes for your mic to actually pick up your volume. So I have mine on 1, and that's just so if I'm start breathing in the mic, it won't pick up all of it, it'll just pick up a little bit of it. For the voice chat volume, I have mine on 300. This is all personal preference. This is just so I can hear my teammates a little bit easier. For my microphone volume, I have mine on 250. That's just because most people have theirs at 100. So if I'm trash talking, they should be able to hear me over the other people, which is kind of nice. And I think that wraps up all the settings. There isn't really anything else. So if you guys did enjoy, a like rating is really appreciated. My next video, I think, is going to be a Warzone gameplay or a top 5 best class setups for Warzone. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and just stay tuned for my next upload. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.